G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. From time to time, in fact quite often, I end up fixing stuff for people, and I had this Cyclops FPV visor, Quanum Cyclops visor shown to me today, and it's got a problem. Can you spot the problem? I'm going to zoom in a bit and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. This is the problem area. Look at that SMA connector. Can you see anything odd about that SMA connector? Well, yeah, it doesn't have a hole in the middle. Where there's supposed to be a hole, it's solid. So how on earth did this get out of the factory? Because if you have an antenna with a pin in it, there's no way you can screw that in properly. And in fact, there was an antenna being used, but look what's happened. It's pushed the pin right back inside because the owner was screwing that up tight and was just pushing the pin instead of having a hole where the pin should go into. I'll show you what a normal SMA connector looks like by comparison. So this is a normal SMA connector, and you can see there's a little hole there into which the pin normally slides, but this is solid, absolutely rock solid, so there's no way a pin can go in there. So we're going to have to pull this apart and see whether we've got a connector to replace this obviously faulty one. Righto, here we have the board. I've got it out of the goggles, and I just noticed while I'm removing this faulty connector here, the one that doesn't have a hole for the pin, that they've actually, the hole is actually here on this side, focus camera, that you can see slightly there that this is a split piece of connector. So what they've done is they put the pin in the SMA connector the wrong way around, so the hollow end is here and they've soldered it, and the solid end, which should be the bit that's soldered, is the bit that's sticking through the top. So crazy. Anyway, we're going to take this one off the board and we're going to replace it with another one. Devil's own job to get these off, of course, because there's so many solder points which all have to be heated at once. So now I've removed the old faulty SMA connector from the board, as you can see. Now all I have to do is solder on a replacement one which I have here, which I pulled off an FPV transmitter which was burnt out. So we'll solder that on. This one has a hole in it and we'll see how we go. And so there we go, we've soldered in the new connector with a hole. So this should work a whole heap better than the last one. Now just a case of putting the board back in the goggles and trying it out and seeing why it doesn't work. So there we go, the goggles all finished, and I also had to repair the antenna. These Fat Shark antennas, they often break there at the crimp where the red heat shrink is, so I had to re-terminate it. And of course the SMA connector that was being used was kind of buggered because the pin was pushing into a solid metal thing and it sort of deformed the pin, so we put a new SMA connector on the antenna and we replaced the SMA connector on the board in this Quanum Cyclops. Now there you go, that's, you know, in theory it wasn't worth repairing because these are so cheap, and it took probably an hour of my time. If I was charging my time, it would have been an uneconomic repair, but when I repair stuff here, I don't charge people. It's all just part of the service I provide to the community, and I have a big pile of stuff sometimes to be repaired. This is just one of them. I have a Tyrannus to repair too, which I'll be doing in the next few days. I'll walk you through that as well. But there you go, that's just a simple repair, and here's the customer. You happy, Ron?
Yeah, very happy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just put the bill in the mail.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that, mate.
Yeah.